Any problems over the course of my years of experience of coaching girls basketball. Nothing of any anti-Semitic remarks or parents accusing me of anything, or any players have ever accused me of being anti-Semitic. At the end of the third quarter, with 10 seconds left, one of the girls on LaFell stated to her coach that one of my players allegedly said "Free Palestine," and she told her coach. They immediately told the referees that. So the coach of LaFell came down the sideline to where I was at and told the referees and stopped and told me that one of my players allegedly said inappropriate anti-Semitic comment. We both agreed to stop the game. I even forfeited my winning the game because I felt it was the right thing to do. I immediately asked my kids to apologize to the LaFell team and to the coach. So after that, LaFell went to their locker room, was going to their locker room escorted by school safety. We went to our locker room escorted by school safety, but I immediately told the LaFell coach that I apologized for any wrongdoing on any of my part or any of the girls' part. I did not hear my player and on my team say anything anti-Semitic or any comments on the court, because I don't allow that in practice, and I don't allow that in any games, and I don't stand for that. I just feel people don't understand when you say allegations about a person, it ruins their career, it ruins their life. It doesn't help that they have to constantly tell people the truth. And nobody wants to hear my side of the story. And that's why I have to go to media, because maybe people will believe what I'm saying if I keep saying it.
Good evening, folks. I'm Freddie Vasquez. This is Baseless Politics Unfiltered. There you have the video from earlier today. Unfortunately, I didn't have the sound. My apologies. So I wanted to play it over. Just kind of recap on it.
Freddie Williams. Fatality.
Poor guy. Poor guy. Make sure you go out and vote, folks. Earlier today, I played that video and I didn't have any audio. So I wanted to play it over. That bothers me. It's like, I hate when I don't have the audio. So if I don't have the audio, please just let me know. Anyway, folks, that is the basketball coach, Bryan Williams, who was fired over the anti-Semitic remarks, allegedly. And according to the Yonkers NAACP, this is much ado about nothing. Where are the anti-Semitic remarks? Folks, the Yonkers NAACP looked into it. And it's all bad for the Yonkers public schools. And I don't want to talk bad about the Yonkers public schools, but there's a lot going on. Before I get into that, did anybody see this? Did anyone see this here? I have a 4-year-old special needs child who is getting abused by YMA school. Now, my children go to YMA. And I got to say, I didn't like that my son had a substitute, and the substitute called him a brat. Now, I speak to my children about lying, and also that's my son. So unless I have reason to believe that he's lying, I'm not going to say that my son was lying, but he was called a brat. So that's not okay. Teachers, I work with kids, and I don't insult kids, anybody's kids, regardless of their behavior. I don't call them a name. Okay, I'm an adult, right? And I'm in a field where I'm doing, work with kids. I think I have to be able to handle situations, whether the kid is being a kid, right? And maybe a little energetic. We don't call him a brat. It's not what we do. And so that happened at YMA. When I picked him up from school on Thursday, January 11, 2024, his teacher said he urinated himself. I went home, opened his backpack, and found feces next to his lunchbox. His pants were dry. My son is potty trained and never wet himself or in the bed. I am in disbelief that a public school can get away with this abuse. I hope someone can see this post and help me. I apologize for the photo I have included in this post, but this is the reality. Yonkers Public Schools. I mean, look, there's many teachers, staff members at Yonkers Montessori. That's Yonkers Montessori Academy that are great and amazing. My kids love, many of the teachers there. But, like in any school, in any, business, you're going to have people that are maybe shouldn't be there, right? They just, I don't know what's going on here, but my wife was one of the administrators in the special education department. This made her a little bit upset that a parent would have this experience, though my wife has not been there in 2 years, right? But she was over at Roosevelt, where there's another controversy brewing, right, in regards to the anti-Semitic remarks, and I want to talk about that because the NAACP is now gotten involved. And they did an investigation, for what that's worth. And no disrespect, but I'm just saying, I don't like the cherry picking. I'm going to talk about this, but I don't like the cherry picking of situations. Many Blacks have complained about not being able to get past tenure, first of all, in the Yonkers public schools. Okay. So we see the disparity, in staff and in leadership when it comes to Black Americans and even Hispanic Americans, although we may see some more Hispanics, right? But we are 63% of the student body population. I say we as in Hispanics, right? So it makes sense. It makes sense. So I want to talk about that, but I go to these things and I want to talk about this also. I'm sorry not to jump, but did anybody see this? Female victim robbed at knife point. So apparently a young female was, I want to say, jogging in Tibbetts Brook Park, and she was robbed at knife point by some individuals on a moped. Yonkers, that's right. Now, I don't know why, and I don't want to seem like, I'm anti anybody. I'm a bad person, right? But I don't know why I'm picturing that maybe it could have something to do with, the increase in migrants riding around on mopeds. Yeah, I know that they're not the only ones riding mopeds, but maybe the Yonkers police could take a look up at the Ramada. There's a lot of mopeds up there. We can start there is what I'm saying, right? So, as American citizens of all races, colors, whatever, creeds, right, ethnicities, we want to feel safe from whoever. We don't care. It's not about, their skin color or where they're coming from. It's about who are coming here. Right now, I just got word that there is, bus transportation, and I guess they have to transport the kids, but bus transportation being provided from the Ramada, Yonkers Public School buses from the Ramada to various schools throughout the city of Yonkers. I think one of the schools is DeCharo or Pulaski, in fact. Right. And these are some of the elementary schools that are supposed to be the best. And I'm not, look, say what you want. I'm just saying, right? By adding more kids, particularly kids who don't speak the language, you're creating more, problems within that school. You have more overcrowding now. We already have a district that's overcrowded with the kids that are, American. Now we have migrant children being brought to New York City who are creeping up into Westchester County. It's just going to happen. It's a natural migration, right? North, right? Coming up into Westchester County. And you're going to see now kids going to school because we as America have to, by law, we are obligated to provide the children an educational academic experience. You know, it doesn't matter if you're paying for it. The American who said, wait a minute, like, you know, and, you know, what's going on, you know, and then to those people that support this, you know, it's all about the money, and it's all about the changes that happen to the community. It's not about being discriminatory to the people. But I'm hearing that, you know, children are being bused from the Ramada to various schools throughout the city. You know, I believe Pulaski being one of those schools, DeCharo. And, you know, some people are upset because there's other kids that are from Yonkers, you know, American kids that can't get their buses changed to their new locations. And I'm not talking about me. I'm talking about other parents, kids within our daycare, after school, I should say, who have their original bus stops from, you know, a year or so ago, but they no longer live near Lockwood, right? I have a kid that I have to go pick up over by Lockwood because his bus stop is still there. They can't get that bus changed for the life of them, but yet they can find ways to provide transportation. There's other schools, like the charter school also has been trying to work out something with the Yonkers district to provide transportations for kids who need after school programming, right? And it's just difficult for the kids in the school district here, but they still find a way, right? So, and now we have people robbing people in parks on mopeds. And so who's providing these, mopeds and stuff to the individuals, and what's going on here? So it's not safe to be in a Yonkers Park anymore. People just roll up on a moped, give me your iPhone, hop back on the moped and take off, right? Some stuff you see in movies. That's what's happening. So I don't know if you guys heard about that, but be careful out there. You know, now we're going to have to, you know, look at all you folks with mopeds. Be like, am I going to get robbed? You know what I'm saying? Like, watch out for that moped dude. You know, I'm going to get back to that, but I'm trying to find the article of the NAACP. And again, I did this over because I didn't get to have the audio that I played with sound, but I do want to read this. And again, this is in regards to the basketball player being suspended or fired, I should say, in Yonkers Public Schools. This is an open letter about basketball coach Bryan Williams by London Reyes. And London Reyes, and you can read the entire letter, goes on to talk about how amazing of a coach that Mr. Williams is. He's a Hall of Fame caliber, known for his positive contributions to the world of basketball. He's given opportunities to many young women towards college opportunities through basketballs, resulting in many securing scholarships to Division I schools, right? And again, this is in reference to Coach Bryan, who was fired right away without any real investigation. I don't get how this and a black man is at fault in this. Could you believe that? So this is an open letter, again, written by London Reyes. You can read that if you like. I'm trying to get to that. This is what Ken Jenkins is. Ken Jenkins, yo, you boy. And we go, Bowman co-sponsors a bill, $14 trillion in slavery reparations for Black Americans. Like, my wife is Black. She gonna get that money. Let's do it. Let's do it. Bowman. This is on the Yonkers Ledger. I'm sorry, I have to go over to the Yonkers Ledger to find this article in regards to the NAACP. Let's take a look here. By the way, take a look at that bang for your buck, right? I'm trying to get news here. Where's that at? Boom, right here. Let's take a look at this, folks. Findings from the NAACP investigation of anti-Semitism at Roosevelt High School. This has got to be karma for you, boy. This got to be karma for you, dude. You know, now you got the real attention on your school. The Yonkers NAACP, I'm telling you, you know who I'm talking about. The Yonkers NAACP was asked to look into allegations of anti-Semitism surrounding the Roosevelt High School's ECS girls basketball team in Yonkers that occurred on Thursday, January 4th, 2024. The Yonkers NAACP branch aligns itself with our national organization in its call to action. It is now more important than ever for the African-American community and the Jewish community to band together. Oh, that's already been happening. I mean, I don't want to go into my conspiracy theories, BLM. To band together in a fight for social justice and civil rights, rather than allow the evils of society to infect us with their hate. Therefore, we seek truth, for it is the only possible way to rid our society of the evils of hatred and bigotry. As many celebrated and commemorated the life and legacy of Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. on this past Monday, he is quoted as saying, "All truths are easy to understand once they are discovered. The point is to discover them. Truth will ultimately prevail where there is pain to bring it to light." As the NAACP of Yonkers, this is our only motive and intention as we investigated these unsettling allegations. As a result of reviewing the Roosevelt LaFell game from beginning to end, one without audio and another with key segments in audio, as well as interviews with parents, students, and the coach, we have concluded that there was absolutely no evidence of any anti-Semitic slurs rendered. The Roosevelt players on the bench and on the court are not found chanting "Free Palestine" or retorting to ugly quotes of "We support Hamas, you effing Jew." Pardon me. We conclude that both are untrue and unfair accusations. As to date, there has been no evidence that the students from LaFell School wrote or alleges in an article actually occur, or what alleges in the article actually occurred. Also, we found that the game was not played with aggression or animus by the Roosevelt players as accused. They simply played basketball. The one incident where a LaFell player was injured was on an inadvertent elbow, but when getting a rebound. You can clearly see it was not purposeful or aggressive. However, there was a back kick from a LaFell player on the leg of a Roosevelt player that has never been mentioned. Ooh. It is in the opinion of the Yonkers NAACP that the Roosevelt girls basketball team, along with their former coach, Mr. Bryan Williams, and the Roosevelt ECS community are owed an apology for the rush to judgment. To state the long-term impact these allegations have had and will have on their lives for a lifespan can't be understated, especially when everybody is getting like canceled, right? Even by like corporate America, certain companies like IBM and stuff. If you support Palestine, you can't get hired. Right? They won't hire you if you write anything in support of Palestine. It's crazy. A Google search will be all that shall be necessary to place this story back into circulation as fact rather than fabrication it is. Racism is wrong. Anti-Semitism is wrong. Islamophobia is wrong. Islamophobia, I'm sorry, is wrong. Discrimination in all forms are wrong. But what is also wrong and worse is literally of defaming another's character by publicly jumping to conclusions, right? Well, we do that here in Basement Politics, but we have a lot of strong sources, right? These are people that are scared to speak up, so we have to do it on behalf of them. And we can't present some of the evidence at times because it will disclose who the sources are. This has caused students, parents, families, our community, and a coach irreparable harm to their lives and future. We as the Yonkers branch NAACP, I love this. I appreciate this, but I'm going to talk about this. Are calling for a full apology from the governor's office, the Yonkers Public School District, the LaFell School District, and its girls basketball team, the Yonkers Mayor's Office, bold statement, Westchester governmental officials, state and local representatives, stakeholders, leaders, and the many news media outlets that have intentionally character assassinated and maligned these young ladies, their families, and the coach. We advise that the Yonkers School District and community join us in dispelling the evil rhetoric of the accusation of hate, and all who spoke ill against the Roosevelt ECS community be held accountable. This will not define us as a community, but we all have to stop and stand for truth, justice, equality, and inclusion for everyone. Oh, I agree wholeheartedly. They needed a scapegoat. Well, they have to appease also their stakeholders, right? Who are the elected official stakeholders? The developers. I mean, let's just be honest. And this is, again, take it how you want. You know, we're starting to see, a growing Jewish community here in the city of Yonkers. And in many of the properties that are being bought up are Jewish investors. Many of the developers happen to be Jewish, right? And they are spending a lot of money into political campaigns through contributions, right? And otherwise, in order to do their business here and to change the city to the way we see it. Look at the Hollywood on the Hudson change, right? I mean, where's that coming from? And so These are officials who are looking to be good with this community that is spending millions, billions of dollars here in the city of Yonkers. That's where the money's coming from. So that is why you saw every, elected official make a statement. But other things they stay quiet on, like when C.J. Hackett was killed, and it took a while, longer than it should have, to catch the guy who did it. When there was some, inconsistencies and strange anomalies within that whole situation, that case, they stayed quiet. Crickets. When Detective Sergeant Frank Galdino was killed by a reckless driver, they pretty much all but let him get away with murder and stood quiet, said nothing, waited to just before the elections to give him a slap on the wrist. And here they are now, jumping at an opportunity to make good with those who are spending lots of money and are investing heavily in the city, and who are willing to invest heavily in the right elected officials if they're willing to make sure their business here is not difficult. And that's just the honest truth. It's not hate against anybody, but this is why they're blowing it up. This is why they used that poor man and threw him under the bus so quickly. The black man. Without any investigation. Well, here comes the NAACP doing an investigation, right? But you guys don't nip it in the bud. That's the problem, NAACP. You jump on this story now because this is a national thing. It's a big thing, right? It's getting a lot of press. This is an opportunity to showcase what you guys claim you guys do. But when it's happening in smaller levels or at lower levels, right, to individuals who do not bring a national attention or a national spotlight, you guys are mum's the word. Silent. And therefore, this is allowed to happen. And now here we see it. It's not just Coach Bryan Williams. There are many that I'm sure if you did an investigation, you would find were terminated for no reason at all, in violation of their civil rights. Many blacks, many Latinos. But that's just the world we live in. It's all about an opportunity. So Mr. Bryan should get his job back. It's total BS. And it's sad that our elected officials once again jump on this just for political gain somehow, somewhere. And because all of them are pretty much managed by the same individuals, they'll put out the same letters in response to this incident, quickly shaming the Roosevelt basketball girls team and those involved. And that's wrong. And now they should all quickly, just as they put out those statements, put out apologies. Will we see it? Probably not. Folks, CSCA 9169, is there an election coming up? Vote for. Why would you vote for Alberto Velasquez when you don't even have a contract yet? I mean, come on. It doesn't make sense. And, to Ken Whitney, I don't know. I saw that, I know Ken, and I see that he was ill, whatever. We send our well wishes and our blessings, for speedy recovery. Shout out to Will. I appreciate you. Don't know who you are. First VP Henry. Where's Marisol? Where's Marisol de Jesus at? I think she should be on here, but you know who else should be on here? Jose Diaz. He should definitely be on there. But that's what's going on. And really quick, also, Black Democrats of Westchester County respond to call for Ken Jenkins to be removed from redistricting commission. Why? Come on, who don't know this guy's, playing game? He's with the corruption, right? He's with the stuff. I hear that allegedly he's promising jobs if he was to become the county executive, right? Taking over for Latimer, who seeks to take out Bowman. But all reality here, black folks, they're looking to take out two black people. They're looking to take out Bowman and Ken Jenkins at the same time. So, right? But Ken Jenkins plays the game. This is in response to NYCD 16 indivisible letter to Senate Majority Leader Andrea Stewart Cousins. who I seen over on North Broadway not too long ago, dated January 14, 2024. It is divisive and unacceptable for indivisible CD16 to baselessly smear the good name of Westchester's leading African-American public servant. Really? Shit. We're being shortchanged, folks. I consider myself black, just in case you didn't know. I'm a Spanish-speaking black guy. The fact that indivisible CD16 chose Martin Luther King Jr. weekend to demand that is, come on, guys. You know, you shouldn't have did that. That wasn't smart. It was going to get criticism. That the first black female Senate Majority Leader removed Chair Ken Jenkins from Independent Redistricting Commission and questioned her judgment shows that they don't understand the real threats in our community. We need to, I'm sorry, I love it. It's a TV show. We need to stand together as we fight for democracy. Freedom is on the line, and CD16 chooses to attack our African American leaders. But what has Ken Jenkins really done for African Americans, right? Here in the city, Westchester County, you know, in Yonkers, they're being pushed out of the West Side by non-African Americans. Ken Jenkins has always been a man of unquestioned integrity. Get the fuck out. And for indivisible CD16 to assert otherwise is utterly ridiculous. But I think Eileen O'Connor knows what she's talking about over there. Insulting to the African-American community of Westchester. That's a straw man argument. Indivisible CD16 owes leader Stuart Cousins and Ken Jenkins an immediate apology, and they should rethink. And that's BS. Let me tell you, that's that strong. This is what I don't like. And I've spoken to my beautiful, I'm going to say African-American, no, black wife. Irrational political strategy. You know, as a Hispanic man, I've been through discrimination. I've been discriminated on, you know, and I felt that. Oh, very, you know, we literally, you know, moved from a whole town because of it. You know, I have, you know, my wife has, absolutely 1000%. So I know about that. But that's a straw man argument. You know, Ken Jenkins is not the cleanest politician out here. I mean, he is not exactly who I would choose to represent black people and represent my wife and children, you know, as a black servant that we should look up to and aspire to be like. No disrespect to you, Mr. Jenkins, but I just keep it honest. That's all. You out here promising jobs, doing the bidding and doing what you need to do in order to stay afloat. That's really been Ken Jenkins' game. But no different than any other politician of any other color for that matter. But this is all political, you know, what do you call it? Posturing, right? This is all about politics, and it's all about what some say is Mr. Mike Spano becoming the county executive instead of Ken Jenkins, like he was told. They even had him promise jobs. Ken Jenkins said, "I'll give you 30 county jobs if I get there, if I become county executive, sir." You know, how many black people has he pulled up along his way to wherever he thinks he's at politically? How many? You tell me. And Bowman is calling for reparations. Listen, if it'll get my wife some money at this point since they fired her, I'm all for the reparations, man. We need that money. Really quick, I want to recap Sam Borelli. Earlier today, I talked about the former building department commissioner who is had a. Let me get this up. I'm gonna read this again. I want to do this some justice. Right. If you didn't watch earlier show today, this is a letter from Sam Dadal. If I'm saying it wrong, pardon me. He's a contractor here, a plumbing contractor here in the city of Yonkers, been doing business for a very, very long time. And this is a letter that I received that he has supposedly written and filed with the Yonkers Inspector General, Liam McLaughlin. It says, subject, corruption in the city of Yonkers building department by the highest level official, and he's referring to Sam Borelli. The letter is addressed to the city of Yonkers Inspector General's office. Will he investigate this? Lakeisha Collins-Bellamy, City Council President, are you guys going to do something about this? I mean, I let you know about it. I'm just being honest. My name is Sam Dadal, and I have a plumbing and water sewer main contracting company based out in Yonkers, New York. And I only asked Lakeisha because I'm one in on this. I'm going to sue some shit too. You know, we suing too because there it is. That's why you guys let him go. I have been serving Yonkers in this business for over 30 years, and I have never had any issues getting permits before starting a new job. I have always legally filed jobs and performed the work necessary to provide a service to the public that meets the highest standards of the New York State Plumbing Code. Since his new title as a Yonkers Building Department Commissioner, Mr. Samborelli has utilized his power of authority to intentionally delay my permits from being issued, and in doing so, it has greatly affected my business. Mr. Borelli, his history of targeting me transcends not only to his current position as Yonkers Building Department Commissioner. Now, this complaint was filed last year, from September 18th of 2023 to the end of last year, December 31st, 2021. All right, so he was still in the position. Commissioner Borelli purposely delayed my permit approval due to his resentment towards me being a contracting competitor. So basically saying that Sam Borelli, his son Virgil, and his other son Sam Jr. have a contracting company that do similar work. And since Sam Borelli became the building department commissioner, that he has intentionally delayed Sam Dedall's permits in order for Sam Dedall's business to be impacted negatively, so that his sons, Virgil and Sam Jr.'s company, could prosper and could move into position and take over the market share that Sam Dedall currently has. Sam Dedall's been operating in the city of Yonkers for 30 plus years. His reputation speaks for himself. It precedes him. People have said nothing but great things about him to me, who I've been asking, about this situation. And so this here highlights the corruption, not only in the building department, but in the city of Yonkers. The corruption that causes problems for people like myself and other small business owners who do not pay to play. If you're not in the in crowd and if you speak out, you're done. Just ask Anthony DiMaggio, a 15-year veteran of the Yonkers Police Department, a lieutenant who was fired, who had his pension taken from him, his daughter damn near taken from him for an entire year because he spoke out. That's the corruption. And then there's the nepotism and the favoritism. If you play the game, if you do as told, you will get what you want. Certain people will prosper, and they don't need permits and they don't need certain fire systems, but they can still open up legally, while others will get delayed and shut down. But this is just not Sam Borelli. This goes further than that. Remember when Tasha Diaz was in that meeting with Sam Borelli and she was asking him for a la carte service to council members. So when council members call up the building department, right, they can get a special privilege in that whatever question they have for whatever property owner, AKA developer, had or wanted a permit need there was, they can facilitate that ahead of others like myself and yourself, residents of the city of Yonkers, small business owners, permits. They would skip the line. So they developed this scheme to make a lot of money doing this. And so when these investors like Mark Realty and others knew about Sam Borelli and Virgil Borelli doing this, of course, who did they go and give contracts to? Sam Borelli's company, Virgil Borelli's company. And that gave them more business, while other people started to walk away from Sam Dedall because they're seeing that their permits are being held up for weeks. But Virgil Borelli, he's getting permits same day. I'm going to go hire him because time is money as a business owner. And so that's what they initially tried to do to me. They wanted me to use certain contractors. They wanted me to actually do work that I didn't need to do. Some I did it myself. I had contractors. That's what I was doing. It was more cost effective for me. I already had my architect. I didn't need Joseph Hernandez. I didn't need Costa's Construction. I didn't need Borelli's Plumbing. But that's what they wanted. And so when I spoke out about it, then they came after me. That was the whole deal with me. It was all about a shakedown. And then when they don't want you to succeed, they'll delay you and delay you and delay you. And then if you don't own the building, they will go after the building's owner. So this is all the part of the corruption here in the city of Yonkers. And thank you for giving me information. So let's take a look at this. He basically puts it out here. This is Sam Dedall Inc. permit chart before Borelli's DHB commissioner. So before Borelli became the building department commissioner, these were the job locations, the contractor Sam Dedall. This is the application date, the job description, sprinkler. Sam, I should have called you to put that fire. Can you do the fire thing for me, Sam? Because I might need you soon. Plumbing permit number and how many days it took. 2 days here, okay? 330 Nepperhan, 1 day. 400 Nepperhan, same day. 2025 Central Park Avenue, same day. This was April 17, 2019. February 24, 2016. So nothing longer than 4 days because it's filed on the weekend, right? Before Sam Borelli. Well, during Sam Borelli's time, I'm sorry, this was before Sam Borelli, if I said it, before. So after Sam Borelli became the building department commissioner, Sam Dodal's wait got longer. And he's claiming even some of the same ones, like 2025 right here. 126 days, 2022-05 Central Park Avenue. 13 days, 46 days, 46 days. And so he's claiming is that on the big jobs, the longer the wait, the bigger the job was. And these are big money jobs, right? And so if contractors or developers, I should say, or investors are coming into the city of Yonkers and they need some plumbing work, that's a big job where there's big money to be made. Sam Borelli, according to Sam Dodal, was holding up his permits for a long time so that it would create this perception that he could not get permits. And big developers are all about the time. I mean, all of us, time is money. And so they see Virgil Borelli getting these permits quick, fast. They started to go to Virgil Borelli for big jobs. Sure, he was getting some in 4 days, right? Even during Sam Borelli's tenure, but those were for small jobs. The big jobs that mattered, that show that we are the ones that, run this plumbing thing here in the city of Yonkers, put in the work, earned that. He was slowing them up so that they would then leave Sam Dodal and go hire Sam Borelli's son. So let's take a look at Borelli's son and associates during Borelli's tenure. So these are the jobs that Borelli's son was getting and applying permits for. And look how quickly he was getting the jobs, right? We have 971 Midland Avenue. That's a big job. 1 day. 103 Yonkers Avenue or 122 Colonial Parkway wants to impress the boss. Same day. That was April 20th, 2022. 103 Yonkers Ave. Well, these guys are getting a same day one. I don't know. Costas, I mentioned Costas Construction, right? And look, I'm not mad at the dude, Costas. He's got to play the game. This is no diss, no at you, no jab at you. Listen, mi amigo, yo entiendo. El negocio como lo tiene que hacer aquí en esta ciudad. Todo bien malo, tú entiendes. So I'm not, and I don't know if he speaks Spanish. He might be Portuguese for all I know, right? But he Brazilian, I say. But he's playing the game. He have to. And then you have Virgil Borelli, all these jobs. 1 Horatio Street, 851, 19 Tuckahoe, big job. Another big job is 23 Mulberry. That's the senior housing building. Same day. We don't see any 46-day waits. We don't see any, 11, even 16 days like we see here with Sam Dodal, 126, not yet. These haven't even been issued yet. And he filed back in October in 2022. 260 days right here. 9 Fenway. And so this has affected his business. He goes on to say here in the letter, the job addresses the plumber contractor for the job, the date the permit was filed, the type of job, and how many days it took for the permit to be officially released. He's saying that that's what he shows down there. The chart label, page 1, indicates the jobs done by Sam Dodal before Sam Borelli was the Yonkers Building Commissioner. The second chart label, page 2, indicates jobs filed by Sam Dodal after Borelli. And the third indicates the jobs done by Sam Borelli's son, Virgil. These three charts, when looked at side by side, are going to prove that permits for jobs filed by Sam Dadal have been delayed significantly only after Sam Borelli became building commissioner. More importantly, the charts are going to show how Commissioner Sam Borelli utilizes and abuses his power in expediting his son's permits while making it extremely difficult in issuing mine, regardless that they are the same type of jobs. In the last 14 months, our time frame to get our permits has varied from 3 days up to 260 days. My business is struggling, and from the start of these unjust and unlawful permit delays, I have lost jobs, workers, and customers. That should be looked into, folks, by the city council, because I'm sure it's not just Sam Dadal and myself that have been impacted by the corruption within the building department. If you are certain individuals and connected, you will get your permits right away. There's no red tape. The truth is that if you want to make it happen, you can make it happen. It's only one phone call away. I'm Freddie Vasquez. This is Basement Politics. Make it happen.
Freddie Williams.
That Rocky.
Fatality.
You heard me? Let's get Mr. Coach Bryan Williams' job back. Let's get my wife's job back. 2 black residents who have worked for the Yonkers Public Schools who were fired for political reasons, NAACP. And I'm sure if you truly investigate it, you will find that there are a lot of blacks who have been targeted and discriminated on here in the city of Yonkers for city jobs in all departments, have been abused, have had racist remarks mentioned at them. Not all of them are connected and have sold out. I'm Freddie Vasquez. This is Basement Politics. In fact, the majority have not, and that is why many have been targeted. So let's get all their jobs back, Yonkers NAACP. Will they apologize?